Okay, so there is a long history of knowing a good teacher and a good student. And the greatest teachers have told their students who became teachers that be careful in selecting your students. There are two kinds of students. One, there is a class in school, right? Everybody can be a student there. And anybody who has a degree or some qualification can be a teacher. They have no choice but to teach. Students have no choice but to learn some basic things: reading, writing, math, etc., etc., right? So that is a different kind of student and teacher. For deep knowledge, for deep questions, there is a slightly different arrangement. Those teachers are called gurus, right? Who remove your darkness. They deal with you rather than teaching you something which is already given in the books. They teach you individually what you need to know, what you need to know, what you need to know. But they also say that teach only those who are prepared, who are ready to learn. Because if you teach deep things to students who are not interested, you are wasting time. Just ignore it. They are very, very kind of tough about this. If a student deserves to know, makes an effort to know, there is a name for such a student who is seriously, intensely interested in knowing, is called mumukshu. Mumukshu. So that a great teacher, guru, will say, this is student. So first they ask you questions. What do you think this? He's not paid attention. It's okay, sorry, I cannot teach you. They can say that. So these are the qualities of a good student who any teacher will be happy to teach, just like I am. Okay? He's curious, which means whatever it is he doesn't know, he wants to know. He's very curious. He's asking questions. He cannot say, well, I don't know, who cares? Let's go to something else, right? He sees a bird flying, he doesn't say, well, how does the bird fly? Why it is flying this way, not that way? He will ask questions, he's curious, right? Like you say, where the water came from? You're curious. You just say, oh, water, yeah, I drink it, take bath, whatever, wash. I don't need to know. You're not curious. So whatever comes in front of you, in your idea, in your thought, in your dream, whatever, you want to know why I dreamt. What does it mean? Right? So you're curious, very curious. Secondly, you have a strong desire to learn. Strong desire to learn means you don't give up. It's too hard. You never say it's too, okay, it's too hard, but I will make it easy. I will learn it. You see? A strong desire to learn. And if you don't get it first time, try again. Keep trying until you fully understand it. That is strong desire. Discipline. Discipline means you have organized your time, your work in a way that is the best way to do it. Suppose something you have to do that requires thinking, imagining, and something requires you to start doing something with your hands. Now you do this, in the middle you want to do something this, and then you take a walk to pick up that, which means you are doing different things, mixing up, right? So you cannot have a clear mind. You cannot even do this job properly because you are halfway in the middle of thinking, and then you are doing, and while you're thinking, you are halfway in the middle doing something with this hand. So you have a discipline. When you say, between this afternoon, between 2 and 4, I will focus on this project, right? Then stick to it. Don't say, oh, by the way, I'm kind of bored, let's go do something else, which means you have lost discipline. If you say, I'm going to rise, get up early, well, at least try to get up early most days.
6 a.m.
Most days get up at 6 o'clock or whatever is a good time, right? Don't say, oh, I plan to do something at 9 o'clock, but today I'm going to sleep till 11 because I didn't sleep last night. Those kinds of things are not good discipline. You make a calendar.
What's the calendar?
Yeah, you make a calendar. Okay, sometimes you can change it. But they say, I have no plan. Discipline is important. And with the discipline comes one thing also very important. If suddenly two things you have to do. Two things you can do, right? You have to say which one is more important. This one is less important, this I can postpone. This I can do some other time. But this is more important. Which means you can compare things that you have to do to choose the important ones first. Now sometimes it may happen, if you are traveling or something happens, you cannot do the important thing. Okay, do it, try it tomorrow. But don't forget about it. You see?
No.
Always keep the important things in your mind, in your calendar. This is important. Therefore, something less important can go, but this cannot go.
Like a party.
Yes, okay. Search for good teachers and books. You should be very lucky if you find a good teacher. Okay? Similarly, good books. If you waste your time reading, read good books. You may need advice because you don't know it's a good book. So you ask somebody, have you read this book? No, I haven't. Have you heard about this book? Somebody who is a good reader? You get their recommendation. Or for a book, read some reviews. There's some reviews in the book. You say what this book is about. So know those things before you say, okay, I am going to read this book, because maybe after reading this book, you become less knowledgeable. It will confuse you, distract you. You have to select your books carefully. And not only books, the music. What kind of music listen to? If you listen to music which is very noisy, very loud and have bad words in it, it's not going to help you.
Movies.
In some movies, too much violence and cutting and cutting and shooting and breaking arms and all those things. Okay? And focus on goals. You set a goal that I must do this. It can be a goal every day or every year, every month, or say it doesn't have a time limit, but I must move in that direction. Every day I must do something about it, not ignore it if it is your goal. And careful in setting your goal. It should be higher than you think you can. Not everything I can is my goal. Goal is to do what I can. That's not a goal.
Think big.
Goal is to do what I cannot, but I want to. That is the goal. I cannot do it, but I want to. I wish I could do that. That is the goal. Right? Right. If you cannot do it, that's fine. Then you try to find out how to do it. Try to learn it. Okay? So the opposite of that is a good student should avoid these things. Good student can never say, oh, I know everything. This kind of ego. I am too smart. I know everything. The day you say, I know everything, what happens? You stop learning. Right? I don't know everything, but I want to know everything. And don't think that I'm always right. And if somebody says something different, then you get offended. Oh, I'm right. How can you say something different? You see? Be humble. Be humble. Don't think I'm always right. I know everything. That makes you egoistic. Gives you false pride. Okay? And then, this is also very important. Bad company, bad music, bad books. Avoid it. Because there is a saying that somebody is known by the friends you keep. If your friends, suppose some of your friends have a reputation of being a bully, being too violent, cursing, had bad habits, right? If somebody doesn't know you, say, "Oh, you are you are his friend," then stay away from you, right? So when you choose a friend,
Choose wisely.
you first find out what he does, how he does, what are his habits, right? How he treats other people. If he is respectful to other people, then he will be respectful to you also. So be careful in bad company, etc. A good student, avoid. And when you stop asking, you lose interest in knowing.
You stop asking.
Stop asking is opposite of this. You're curious, which means you keep asking. And don't say always busy and distracted, because you're always busy, which means you are not using your time properly. Keep time for rest. Resting is sometimes even more important than doing, because when you are rested, everything you do will be better. If you are tired, distracted, then whatever you do will be poor quality. You don't want to do poor quality things, right? The top quality, right? Good goals, good habits, good discipline, curiosity, avoid bad qualities, right? Then you are a mumukshu. And when a guru sees a mumukshu, a real sincere student, he wants to teach you. He wants to find you. You see, there is a saying, a good student doesn't have to find a good teacher, because the teacher will find you. Because good teachers always looking for good students. I don't want to teach you. Because it's a way, if you teach a student who is not interested, doesn't have discipline, a good teacher will waste his time. He might as well find another student who he can teach, right? So that is important thing to keep in mind from now.